Hello, 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 everybody. How
Hello,
are you
hello.
doing tonight? My name is Ito, and I am really happy to bring you the debut of the new Polar Ace North roster versus the Outliers. Both these teams, unfortunately, have sustained a loss in their last match, so both of them are really looking to make a name for themselves. And, well, since some new Cubs have joined the pack, Polar Ace North, they're my personal bet to go ahead and come out on top of this one. They do have some pretty impressive names. Poised, Marv, Derechi, Shanks, and Four-Pack will go ahead and complete the lineup for the new Polar Ace lineup versus the Outliers, which have Top Fade, Hendy, Bokembop, and Walker. And it looks like Walker is going to be trying to walk through mid at the moment. Find a frag as three of his teammates push top mid. This is kind of an interesting strat. We see it working to various degrees of success. And this one right now seems to be looking good for the Outliers. Right now, a triple kill from Bokembop. That's a perfect start for the Outliers and exactly the way you want to make this new game start for your team. Polar Ace now look to try to sustain and try to recover from this round if they possibly can, excuse me. A couple of long-range Glock shots ends up netting them a kill. And a plant as well will go ahead and be on the cards. Retake begins, but this most definitely does favor Outliers at the moment. They do have pretty much every advantage in the book, minus the kit. So Polar Ace, they do still have a little life in them yet here, but unfortunately it's all whisked away in a moment's notice. Four-Pack gets taken down, leaving it all up to Shanks by his lonesome. He gets one long range with a Glock, but on the bomb already will be pretty much everybody on the Outliers. So they will take round number one thanks to the pretty heroic play by Bokembop, to be totally honest. It pushed immediately into lower tunnels and got a flurry of kills almost out of nowhere. It's the recipe for success, some could even say. And Outliers get off to the start they like. But it's not the end of the world, Polar Ace. You see that they are going to be choosing to get upgraded pistols. They did get the bomb down, so their money isn't going to be in the worst state. Theoretically, they still have a chance to kind of bring the pain to Outliers at the moment. Marv is watching for any pushes over towards Banana at the moment. Or Banana, excuse me. Wrong map, but, well, all the shots that you would see on Inferno nonetheless. Gorgeous tap from Marv opens up the round for Polar Ace, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not out of it all just yet. 4-on-5, things come to a standstill. Polar Ace look to recover this one. Have some good advantages to speak of here, as it seems they want to go up cat at the moment, but they're still taking their time patiently, waiting to get all hands on deck before they make their fall in onto the ace site. Watching for this push will be Fade. He makes point of contact with one, but his position's given away, so he's going to be desperately looking for some help from his teammates, but he might not need the help whatsoever. Poised, he's going to come in through with that P250, and actually Marv with a second deagle. He's actually done massive for his team so far. He might be able to extend it. Right now, he just looks to get the bomb down. That's the big #1 issue that's really hitting Polar Ace hard at the moment. Excuse me, Marv looks to improve for a triple kill, and he's going to get it. Marv on a triple, looking for #4 here. Tendy left alone to his own devices, 1-on-2. Marv reloads at just the wrong time, though. But if he can get this, it would be massive. A perfect name. A perfect way to make a name for yourself, but unfortunately it's not meant to be. Hendy just barely steals it away at the last moment. It's a triple kill for him. And they survived the scare, Outliers. But at the same time, that was so desperately close. So many guns are just siphoned out of the hands of the Outliers, and because of this, Polar Ace are not going to have any problem whatsoever being able to sustain a very heavy buy into this next round, I should say here, excuse me. 5 Kriegs across the board. You can't get much more OP than that. It's right back to early 2020, or excuse me, late 2019, early 2020 with how many Kriegs are on the board at the moment. And honestly, I would definitely have to favor Polar Ace for this one here, because if you notice top, he's currently stuck on an MP9 at the moment. Now, the MP9 is no slouch, don't get me wrong. It's one of the best guns in the game, but up against Kriegs, which, the best guns in the game, I'm not exactly going to go ahead and have him to win that one, but Bokembop doesn't care about your Kriegs whatsoever. Going to take a fight with an M4 and win it versus Poised. And now it's a 4-on-5. favoring the Outliers at the moment. They don't have to split their defense for the time being. Smoke comes through to watch Cat, so if Reggie wanted to, he could go ahead and boost 4-pack on top of this one. Looks for a smoke kill, but unfortunately jumping out on top of it doesn't net them the results that they wish. And now it's all quiet on the western front here. Polar Ace on the back foot at the moment. Still need to recover. And it comes in the form of 4-pack, getting a fantastic kill onto Hendy. That's over towards top mid. Hendy, unfortunately, was pushing his luck a little bit too much here and ends up getting caught out because of it. Marved, still over at B, is just trying to pester top, keep him at that site while the rest of his team starts pushing up towards Catwalk here. One player in the form of Walker is out towards long at the moment. Flash comes through, but he won't even bother to try to take that fight for the time being. Now, in CT, the Outliers have a very, very tough retake ahead of them here, and it becomes even tougher of a task with Retchie getting a second kill, excuse me. Just like that, Marv coming in from behind is going to go ahead and pincer the CTs right into their own spawn, keep them in their home, and evict them if they try to get out. It's Faye left alone, 1-on-3. Not even going to find the first. Polar Ace North pick up their first round under their new organization. It's off the back of gorgeous Krieg play. I do want to give a quick look back. I want to find out how Reggie got those kills, because that double kill seriously just secured the round for his team. There's almost nothing the Outliers could do. It's so tough to retake on this map, especially if you're coming from CT, and it becomes even tougher when all your players go down just like that too. Marv currently watching for any lower B pushes at the moment, so his teammate doesn't have to worry about it, but the Outliers are stuck on pistols, and this is where I guess the kind of butterfly effect of the really important rounds, or the important eco round that Polar Ace had a little bit before. Because of how much damage they caused when they had those deagles, now Outliers will have to bring deagles to the table themselves, and well, they're going to have to show up and blow up here, because it doesn't seem like Polar Ace are struggling with it at the moment. Hendy does manage to find one with an MP9, but the deagles don't do the work. It's Shanks with an incredible double kill, entries his team into the A bomb site, but all the action is happening towards B. They get the bomb down, and that's pretty much done and dusted, just like that. Searching for kills now. Shanks, well, actually not secure the kill. It's Retchie to find it, but Krieg's in play and makes it just so damn easy. I say as, excuse me, Top is able to find one with his deagle, but I mean, otherwise, it's just kind of a clean sweep for Polar Ace. That was perfect map control by them. Shanks seriously just did all the work for his team. It felt like kind of carried his team to victory there, because he just kind of cracked open that A site, split the defense so hard from the Outliers, and they weren't really able to recover after the fact. Polar Ace just rotated all their players, all their assets over towards B, and were able to secure the plant and secure the round, but it's not without it being relatively expensive. At the very end of things, Hendy is able to find a kill. A player goes down to the bomb, so only one is left alive for Polar Ace. So, I mean, it's not exactly the strongest showing in that round, but they do come out on top. They siphon a bunch of Kriegs in the midst of it, though, so it's not the prettiest sight to behold. Smoke comes through over towards mid. Only one player over towards B at the moment, and I'm pretty sure if they beat him to the punch here, Retchie might be able to come out on top of the stool, because Top only has a P250, and just like that, A site is open. Retchie might soon realize it, and his team might rotate over to respond as well, and they certainly have the heads up now. Bokum Bop is going to get one frag with his deagle. All the action, is happening towards top mid at the moment. I didn't feel like 4-pack was going to be able to go this huge, but, well, you can never count on anything, it seems like, on these rounds. Polar Ace, they run away with it, only dropping 2 guns in the progress of it. Hey, Jake Star, thank you so much for the raid, dude. Holy crap. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's a heart from me. I'm going to, actually, I'm just going to toss a heart in the chat before I get back into this. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that more than pretty much anything. Polar Ace, they now go up to 3. And Jake Star, you got in here at the perfect moment, because Polar Ace have now taken the lead early on Dust 2. And are looking to extend it on this one as well. Another gun round is brought to the table from the Outliers, nearly trying to push up towards Cat, but Hendy seems to have second thoughts about it. Will choose to smoke aggressively. Hendy will now peek out behind it. But all of Polar Ace North have now gathered up at the B bomb site to have a little bit of a meeting. You have a player in Bokumbop watching for any mid-aggression. Shanks finds first contact, not second contact though. The trades are so good from Outliers at the moment. They managed to keep it an even scenario. However, this is still a net win for Polar Ace though, because this does have to fracture the defense at the moment for the CTs, and that's exactly what happens when you play with matches like that. You're gonna get burned. Bokumbop jumps through the smoke and actually manages to find a double. He has kind of found a lifeline for the Outliers here off of the back of a round that they, in most cases, would not have come out on top. And poised, he looks away at the wrong moment. Walker, is he going to be able to squeak out this win for his team? It's going to be all up to this AWP to find it. And indeed, he is going to be able to. Walker finally gets his first kill on the board. And what an impact frag to have. He's going to be able to keep things even between the Outliers and Polar Ace at the moment and keep the op to boot. Now Polar Ace, they still have one more buy into this. It's not the end of the world, but it's not going to be exactly the healthiest buys. You see Poise is stuck on a CZ75, most likely just going to be trying to set up his team for success. Shanks this time is going to be the one over towards B, watching for any tons pushes while the rest of his team makes their home at top mid. Leading the charge will be Marved over towards Catwalk at the moment, Creek and Stowe. Reggie will go ahead and back his teammate up here, but a flash might come through, and this might be deadly. Indeed it is. Marv and Retchie both fall. Hendy also gets a nice consolation kill on top of things here. Finally, a response comes in the form of a CZ75, but Poise, you need to find more where that came from here, because this is not looking exactly promising for you at the moment. It's actually Shanks to find first, but not a second, unfortunately. Bokumbop is able to return it, and Fade closes things out with another round, or excuse me, another kill, and it's 4 on the board for the Outliers as they take the lead back now this time. It's back and forth on Dust 2. Slight favor for the Outliers at the moment though, because now Polar Ace don't exactly have that money buffer that they were looking forward to so many times before anymore. Smoke comes in through mid, no one's exactly watching. You see Shanks is just doing a couple of hops over towards Suicide, trying to spot some information, but no give. Pistols on the platter. Polar Ace have high hopes for this one, as Ace look to get bombed down if nothing else. Again, we go back to relative silence. It's going to be a tough ask for Polar Ace to get much more than the bomb. But if they can get that, that would secure them a healthy net of money for them to work with in round number 9. But round number 8 is underway. Let's go ahead and focus on the real brass tacks of this one. Walker down to 25 HP thanks to a gorgeous P250 tap from Poise. And again, they're looking much better to get the bomb down, but retake is where the real issue starts coming in. You see 3 players are currently located in CT at the moment here, and this is going to have to be a gorgeous shot from Marv. Unfortunately, it's a gorgeous shot from Walker instead. 4 versus 5 as the retake begins, and I mean, it's exactly what you expected. Not really much of a chance for Polar Ace in this one here. Shanks is just going to go ahead and burn up alive in this Molotov. And, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's just a clear, clean retake from the Outliers as they secure the round and put themselves back up on 5. But that was the main goal of Polar Ace throughout that one. They didn't exactly have a really strong winning shot of winning that round, but the fact that they even got the bomb down allows them to be able to buy into this one relatively healthily. And we see a pause come through. I'm pretty sure that was about Shanks at the very end of things. Luckily, that was a, again, pretty much impossible scenario for him to win. So it doesn't matter that he is just kind of sitting AFK over towards Wizard, but, well, it nets them the bomb plant anyway, and isn't that what really matters in life? So yeah, small technical pause comes through. Polar Ace can also just talk about things for the time being, find out what's going wrong, find out what's going right. I feel like a lot of the time, Catwalk has been the most heavily contested part for both teams here, I should really say. And a lot of the times it has worked out for the Outliers at the moment. Even when they haven't had like a flash come in, they've managed to just really secure all the frags that they need and not really bleed too many players in the midst of things. Taking a quick cursory glance at the scoreboard as well, you see Hendy and Bokenbop are currently leading the server at 10 frags apiece. 4 deaths for Hendy and 5 for Bokenbop, but Bokenbop has gotten a lot of impact frags early on. I think back to some of those A defenses when Polar Ace were coming up long, and Bokenbop just really held down the line over at the A ramp. And speaking of long, I also think that for the most part, long seems to be the best bet of Polar Ace, at least from the small sample size that we've seen so far. There's still plenty of Counter-Strike to get played, don't get me wrong, but I mean, I feel like of all the scenarios that we've seen so far, it seems to be most promising when Polar Ace North are going over towards long. And if they can, they could theoretically exploit that a little more. B has also been a pretty welcome sight to them. Once they've taken care of top, ESEA has been, for the most part, kind of left wide open. Top isn't exactly having the most, crazy game. 2-6 at the moment. Not the end of the world, though. He has been a B anchor. Sometimes you just don't see a lot of the action until, you're seeing all of it. Hey, Pacoder. What's up, man? How you doing? By the way, I appreciate your patience throughout this pause. I know it's no fun dealing with technical issues, but shouldn't be too long now until everything is all wrapped up. And we'll speak of the devil, there it is. Unpause comes through, and another chance for Polar Ace to strike back. They're going to, again, put in all their marbles for this one. All their eggs in the basket. Push comes through. Walker makes his way over towards long to join the squad. Flashes his team through. AWP in play, and over towards top mid at the moment. Polar Ace have just decided to hold down the line. Don't want to push. Don't exactly want to really kind of extend beyond what they know is safe. Here comes Catwalk. It's been, again, the most heavily contested part of the map so far, and it's looking a little bit better for Polar Ace at the moment. They don't have 2 players stacked up like the CTs. The Outliers have done a couple of times previous, and a boost up over towards Cat is perfect, and it nets him a kill immediately. Hendy, that's the start that you need. Now, this makes things very, very tough for Polar Ace, but struck right back with the inclusion of a kill from both sides, It's 3-on-3, and it's kind of anyone's round at this point. Op is retrieved out of Walker's hands into 4-packs. And this gives them a little more tools to play with. A long plant is most likely going to be on the board at the moment here. Marv doesn't exactly want to risk it for the biscuit just yet, because that's what happens if you peek your head for a little too long. It's just going to get blown right off from Henty. This retake will begin, but, I mean, Polar Ace have still a really good shot at that, made even more sweeter by the fact that 4-pack has found that first, not quite the second with the AWP. And Henty still going massive with the Krieg as he just misses a shot. Unfortunately, 4-pack can't quite finish the job. It's Henty seriously running away with that round as he picks up a quad in it. What a performance from the man. I heard someone from chat a little bit earlier on mention that Henty is such a massive player and such a massive talent. And my God, in that round, if he's not proving it, I don't know who is. He's topping the scoreboard, double the kills of Marv at the moment, who's the highest on his team. Polar Ace North left scrambling a little bit as they want to recover round number 10 here. Again, forcing up. Not the prettiest fight. Interestingly enough, Marv didn't opt for a Galil or anything like that. He's just going to stick with a Deagle, a little bit of utility. Still a little over 2250 or 2200 to work with, so I guess he wants to save up for an AWP, something of the sort. Flash comes through. Marv leading the charge, Deagle in hand. Waiting in pit will be Fade, though, and he can go ahead and really spoil the fun for Polar Ace North at the moment, and he's doing just that. He finds one. Quick response from 4-pack, though, is able to avenge his teammate and do even more on top of it. This is actually proving to be rather bloody. Luckily, Bokenbop is going to be able to recover just a little bit, and it's back into a relatively steady ship for Outliers. They're on 6 rounds at the moment, but their next challenge remains in the form of Hendy, who's continuing his streak of dominance. Put a Krieg in this man's hands, and he will show up and he will blow up. Finds one, but not quite the second. Now it's left into 1v1 at the end of the day, and it's 4-pack with a massive 4-kill. Crazy 1 versus 2 from him, and it was honestly just such a crazy flurry of frags back and forth. It was so hard to really keep an eye on all the action, but luckily 4-pack, all from his POV, was the one to watch. He gets a massive quad and improve to a 6-4 record now. 4-pack, he's kind of feeling it at the moment, and how can you blame him? He continues it and takes down the Opper. Now this is looking better and better for Polar Ace North. They're starting to, find a little bit of oil in these in this kind of machine that they're running at the moment, so they can become that well-oiled machine that they hope for. But Hendy wants to go ahead and throw a wrench in their plans, and he'll do just that. Actually turn around, find a double. And you can just never count Hendy and Co out of this one. Luckily, though, they're going to be forced out of the equation because the bomb is planted. Polar Ace North now have found a lifeline back into this one, and unfortunately for the Outliers, it's just too far gone for them to try to attempt this retake, try to attempt their way back into this round. Top is bleeding internally, just looks to save his Krieg. Hendy, same scenario with him. He's relatively healthier than his teammate. Marv is going to go ahead, take care of it. It's a little bit of a struggle in the duel, but it's a kill nonetheless. Hendy is still crazy in the server, even getting all these exits that he needs, and because of that, he's going to be able to save that Krieg for a rainy day. And as we've seen before, when you have someone like Hendy who has a Krieg in his hands, he is one scary son of a gun. The rest of his team, though, isn't exactly looking pretty. They're going to be stuck on default pistols. One of them will upgrade, that's top. And a B-stack is going to be on the cards right now for the Outliers. 3 players committed towards it. And it's just the perfect read on the scenario. Hendy is going to have to go massive here, and it's not off to the best start, though. Quick refract comes through, and they improve to be even better. And now the Krieg's out of the hands. And it feels like the Outliers are out of chances in this round. Walker is going to retrieve it and try to get away with it because he knows that this is such a tough ask to try to win this retake. They're trying to siphon him kills, but he isn't quite able to hit the mark. Isn't quite able to thread the needle. And that will be another round for Polar Ace North. They even it up versus the Outliers at the moment, so either team could still kind of pull forward in this first half at the moment on Dust 2. Hendy has been an absolutely massive asset for his team. I want to keep an eye on him. It feels like it's been a battle between 4-pack and Hendy at the moment. Flash comes through. Hendy isn't going to be enabled for his team, unfortunately. Pushing through the flash will be Polar Ace North, and they're going to win that duel. However, quick refract from Bokum Bop, the second highest fragger on the Outliers at the moment, will avenge his teammate and keep things rational for the time being. 1 player is left, and that's top over towards B at the moment. Bokum Bop still in the backline, though, still causing chaos. Luckily, the refrags are perfect. Marv is able to find 2. Top all by his lonesome at the A site, just kind of desperate, or excuse me, at the B site. Just desperately has to wait for his teammate to come through and try to save the day. Bokum Bop, he's now going to have to find 2 more, excuse me. Top falls. He has not been exactly having the highest game of his life. He's going to desperately look for a little bit more, and he's not going to be given the chance. Polar Ace North now, they've started to recover and started to find their footing just a little bit. They've struggled for a good amount of it, but they're looking a lot better with time here as they've officially put themselves on 7, now look to officially win this half. CTs. Smoke and a cross through. Only 1 player crosses, though. It's top again, all by his lonesome. I feel like he hasn't been getting the love that he needs over towards B. Saw Polar Ace have been kind of favoring it a little more in these past couple of rounds. The Outliers, though, they'll work with what they're given here. They retrieve an AK, thanks to Bokum Bop with a deagle. And now look to try to entrench themselves in towards upper tunnels at the moment. Bomb is currently located there, and they're starting to get pinned in a little bit here. Massive grenade comes through from Shankso. Hello there, and they just get all the frags they need. It's kind of a domino effect, really, from Polar Ace at the moment. Bokum Bop is left to his own devices, but as I've said so many times before, he's going to have to pull off a play worthy of device if he wants to drag this round back into his team's favor. Oh, and he's going to have to get more kills like that, maybe. 4-pack. He goes down through the smoke. Bob is on 3, but he needs to make it 5. He's going to need to ace and pull off the 1 versus 3, and Polar Ace are going to give him no shot whatsoever at it. Shanks is going to take his sweet time rotating over to the ace site, get the bomb down, and probably the most favorable position that you can hope for. And Bob, he's ready for it, but this is still such an impossible task for you to have to deal with, especially when your location is poised to be taken care of. Pun fully intended. Poise will choose back up. Position is given away. Is Bob actually going to be going for this? He doesn't upgrade to the Krieg. He's actually still going for this retake. But he has second thoughts about it. A Molotov will stave off any sorts of hopes that he has in dragging this team, just this round, back into his team's favor. But he's able to get so many guns out of the hands of Polar Ace's hands. Polar Ace will officially win the half, but it's not without the silver lining from the Outliers here. Last round of the half comes through, and this would be absolutely massive for Polar Ace to pick up. A 6-9 half heading into CT, especially after how turbulent the beginning of this half was, would mean the absolute world for them. They're going to have some tools to do it with 4 Kriegs and a single AWP in 4-pack's hand, and, well, unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out for 4-pack. 1-upped by Walker. Rotate quickly comes through. Bob, he's already primed over towards CT to try to go ahead and help his teammate. Walker, though, doesn't need your help. He's going to be able to find 2, nearly a third, but isn't quite able to thread the needle with that shot. Marv takes a little bit of damage, sustains a little bit. Flashes come through. It's a lightning storm in the sky right now, and I mean, there comes the refrags from the CT side. It's a little bit of a messy affair, but it's an affair that the Outliers will come out on top of at the very end of things. So it's an 8-7 half. You can't get much more competitive than that. Polar Ace are struggling a little bit on the T side, but still do come out on top at the end of the day. They'll have their chance now to be on the defense. And they're going to have to do a little bit better than them if they want to win this game under their first time under, for their first game under the banner of Polar Ace. Both these teams are obviously looking to improve their records, but they're both so hungry for it. 8-7 again. You can't get much more competitive than that. Looks like you saw Top actually spotting over towards mid there. Might have a good read on how many players they should try dedicating over towards B. You see, it's a 4-1 stack at the moment, with the only one player being Top over towards T and over towards mid. Control, it's quickly seized. Bob is able to find the first one onto 4-pack. There's no response from Shanks, however, and that's bad news bears for Polar Ace though at the moment. Now, there's the refrags I was talking about there. It comes in the form of Shanks and Marv, soon to be Retchy as well. He isn't quite able to finish it up, but it doesn't matter because the rest of his team is doing all the work they could possibly think of. It's Top, left alone, no bomb in hand, and no life either. 9-7. Polar Ace get a very massive and a very important round that they need to go ahead and secure this a little more for their team. It's 9-7. And a pause comes through. Can't tell if this is tactical or technical, but I would have to imagine it's tactical. Go ahead and talk about things at the moment. As I mentioned before, talk about what's going right, what's going wrong. You have a very small sample size, of course, sure, but I mean, you can even call stuff out, like the fact that Polar Ace dedicate 2 players very early on towards Catwalk. Is that something they're going to try again? Is that something the Outliers can respond with? Is that something that theoretically can be responded with? Like, there's already a good amount of stuff that they can take from just that pistol round, plus all the other rounds that we've seen so far. Don't get me wrong. The Outliers most definitely want to try to juice out that tactical as much as they possibly can. Aggro play comes through. And a lightning storm of flashes as well. 4-pack doesn't struggle at all. It's just a clean sweep over towards Long. In a matter of seconds, they're all taken care of. The Outliers, maybe that tactical pause didn't work out for them whatsoever, because they're all vaporized in 10 seconds. And that is how you have a clean anti-eco round. You can't get much more swift than that. Resmoke comes through. Now the Outliers will be buying up into this one. This is where the real challenge begins from Polar Ace. They won the they won the pistol, and they won the follow-up. Sure, that's a given. But now when you're up against AKs and Kriegs as well, especially when Hendy has one, this is where it becomes a little bit scarier, and this is where you really start testing your might if you're on Polar Ace North here. Oh, good nades. Just land on top of Bokenbop's head. He's just getting so much shrapnel to the face right now. He's zoned out of his position. He's down to 43 HP, and that's such a terrible prospect to have to look forward to for the rest of this half as well, because that puts him within one-shot range of not only those M4s, but even those MP9s as well, and you're starting to really feel the burn at the moment right now. The Outliers are just running into a meat grinder over towards Catwalk at the moment. Fade and Top are stuck just in such a hard scenario, and they're just going to lose every single gunfight that they needed to win. You put a Krieg in 4Pack's hands, and he's going to go off with it. They've seriously opened Pandora's box at the moment. They've gotten a Krieg in the hands of Polar Ace, and that just becomes so scary. Ever since that scoped Krieg has come into play, it has become an absolute menace for either team that gets it in their grasp. It's well worth its money. And it's well worth its weight in gold. Reshi, he's going to find the red gold, though. Strikes blood onto Hendy. He's been a massive pain in the side of Polar Ace so far, but so has Bokenbop, who, speaking of which, who is going to find the first kill. Fade and Bokenbop actually combined to find another. Rechi stuck in, lower tunnels all alone, just loses all the gunfights, and how the hell have Outliers pulled this off? What the hell are they doing to make their deagles just hit all their shots? That's unbelievable. It's Shanks, stuck, versus 3. Has a kit to play with, so he theoretically could go for this if he really wanted to. But at what point do you just give up the ghost? Let Outliers have this miraculous round that they somehow manage to just win every single duel for. Shanks is just kind of watching his back. It looks like he's looking for exits at the moment, but no one is obliging him. They know they have to come within due time. Walker is trying to sneak up. Shanks, surely Shanks hears it. How does Shanks not hear it? He's walking into the meat grinder. Good response from Walker. We'll go ahead and close the deal. And the Outliers, that was an eco round that they managed to come out on top of. That's absolutely disgusting. How do they give that up, Polar Ace North? All is not lost. Outliers going to get those creeps back in their hands, plus an AWP and Walkers as well. Shots quite aren't through, and look at this. Check out this double AWP setup brought up from Polar Ace North. Most likely 4Pack is just going to be watching the lower tons, and Bokenbop is ready for it, though. Judge, juror, and executor. Shanks avenges his teammate and takes down one of the opposition. Top, who's had a very slow game so far, 6 and 17. Doesn't exactly have the best luck in this time either. Flash through. Shanks wide peek through. That is so dangerous, but luckily it works out in his team's favor. The double up play over towards A at the moment is kind of a menace at the moment. Shanks looks away from the flash, but is he ready for the second flash is coming through? Oh, that's so unfortunate. Bokenbop is ready on it yet again, and in recent times it feels like Hendy has been the one that's really showing up and blowing up for his team. Bokenbop on a double will secure for his team most likely another round. He doesn't even need any more kills from here on out. It feels like Polar Ace, they're going to respect it. The Outliers have gotten away with another round. They haven't had the best luck on these retakes, and they're not going to go ahead and try to test their luck this time around either. Myrt will look aggressively for some exit kills, AWP in tow. But overall, it's going to be another one on the board for the Outliers as they improved to 9 rounds now. Hiding in pit. And it's business as usual. Polar Ace, their money is kind of in a dire situation at the moment, I suppose you could say. I say that though they can get a full buy together thanks to the guns that they saved. But lose this one, and you might be seeing an even game on our hands. If not, Outliers might actually squeak out the advantage. However, you can't count your chickens before they hatch, because there's still plenty of chances for Polar Ace North to make a name for themselves, and it starts off with kills like that. Fade is already put out of the picture, out of the equation. However, you want to go ahead and come up with a spicy metaphor for yourself, and A belongs entirely to Polar Ace at the moment. Poised waiting right behind doors right now is going to have to go big or go home. And it looks like he's going big at the moment here. Find the first, doesn't quite find the second. The M4 comes back to bite him at the worst possible moment. Now it's going to be up to Retchy. He has such a massive challenge on his hands, but it's 4-pack to actually come in with the action. He comes in through CT, and he manages to pop off. Walker, he's stuck with the Deagle, left to his own devices again. 1-on-2. And they both know exactly where he is, but it's the same situation for Walker as well. He's made into 1 versus 1. Don't tell me Walker is going to be able to pull it off. I know he was my player to watch, but I can't stand to watch this devastation because he's about to nearly run away with it, but 4-pack will have none of it. He makes it a triple, and he makes it 12. Polar Ace survive. You guys are so sweet. I love you. Thank you so much, chat. Easy for Pack at the moment. 2 FAMASas brought to the table. That AWP that's caused so much trouble for the Outliers is now in 4-pack's hands yet again. He has been a superstar for his team at the moment. He wasn't even on my list of players to watch heading into this game, but my God, has he been impressing me? Has he been proving me wrong? You know what, Tessie? I don't know, but, you know, I'll mod you as soon as I get the chance here. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get back into the game real quick. Marv gets a nice refrag onto Fade, 4-on-4. Nice re-smoke. And it looks like Outliers at the moment are just trying to look to pop up towards long here. You see Top has the bomb in his hand, and maybe he's going to be the first one in as well. Flash through. Player weighing over towards elevator, and Shanks actually just waits, bides his time a little bit, and he's going to be able to get 2 frags. And it's all working out for him at the moment. Unfortunately, it bears the fruits, but he isn't quite able to pick them. It's a 2-on-2. And it's not the end of the road just yet for either team. It does definitely favor the Outliers just because they've had time to get into their perfect positions. And, well, that's what happens when you go ahead and give it up to a player named Walker. They're going to run away with it. Double digits for both teams. I'm finna bear your fruits. I love you guys. You guys are great. Polar Ace, they're up on 12. FAMAS in Shanks. 4 upgraded pistols are all that Polar Ace have to work with here. I said their economy was in dire straits, and I mean, they even avoided the first pitfall of the CTs. But they weren't ready for the second. The Outliers struck back and will now reap the rewards. At least for this round here. Bokenbop surely is going to be able to find this kill onto Retchy. It's almost like a given. Walking right into the crosshair. They actually managed to get a little bit of collateral damage. Poised falls first. Retchy is still staying alive. It's all quiet on the western front. No contact made just yet. Bokenbop doesn't need to even fire the trigger even once because his teammate will go ahead and step up. And this is a done deal from Polar Ace. Hey, you don't find anything in that eco despite their best efforts and some money invested into that one. The Outliers, they've made this unbelievably close for the time being. You can't get much more neck and neck than this one. Both these teams are also, again, as I mentioned, hot off of a loss last time, and both of them were incredibly close as well. So, I mean, not exactly changing of the seasons, unfortunately. Flash ready to come through. No flash play, but it's not needed either. Outliers will take their time as they try to push up towards long. Polar Ace, they're going to be ready for this one, surely. Are they going to stack on each other's head? That would make me absurdly happy if they did that. It would be such a stupid play. Pistols are going to be on the board here, and are they ready for just the GoldenEye level 3 here? Bokumbop just sprays 3 of them down. It's a fun attempt, but unfortunately it doesn't quite get them the win that they were hoping for. 3 guns down, don't get me wrong, that's still a massive result considering they invested almost $0 into this one. I mean, not too bad. And it's all evened up here on Dust 2. Players will cross. That's a missed smoke from Polar Ace. So luckily the Outliers weren't exactly watching for that. Or were they? Was Fate actually watching for that? I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter anyway because it's already going to be a 4 versus 5. Put right back into a 4 versus 4. I don't exactly know why Top peeked into that one. But he ends up losing his life. And Marv is able to capitalize and go even further beyond. Takes down Hendy as well. And now this is looking a little bit better for Polar Ace. I still don't exactly know why Top 3 peeked into that one, but it wasn't the thing that exactly killed them. It's the fact that their other teammates have fallen as well that probably killed them. However, it's Bokumbop and Walker left alone. These are the 2 players, or some of the 2 players. I would also love Hendy in a situation like this that I would trust in a clutch scenario like this. No! Jump scared Reggie! Did he just get both of them as well? That's disgusting! Well, he manages to find both the kills. The poor Walker just got a jump scare. And that will be another round on the board for Polar Ace as they take back the lead. It's not bad at all. Bokumbop, I didn't even realize he's been having such a crazy game so far. 28 and 17 for the player. I was singing the praises of Hendy, but my god, maybe I need to be singing a different tune. Smoke comes through. I'm not sure if Walker spotted anything. He might have spotted the legs of a CT as they're jumping through, but either way, it doesn't seem like the Outliers care. They're going to be putting all their eggs in the A basket at the moment. Flash through. Marv doesn't adjust. Doesn't falter. Doesn't even flinch. Boosted on top of Blue Box at the moment is Bokumbop, so they're definitely expecting some sort of aggressive play from Polar Ace at the moment, but no give from them. Marv, the only aggressive play that you're going to see from the CTs is over towards Cat at the moment, and it comes in the form of Fade, who, speaking of which, he's going to find the double kill. That cracks you. So what was that? I thought that was a CT who was going to bring out the knife, but doesn't matter. Fade doesn't care. The only person that can take out Fade is his teammate, apparently. Is Top just trying to kill his teammate? First the knife, then the Molotov. What's going on right now? Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a round for the Outliers, thanks to the efforts of Fade. The only player, apparently, that can take out Fade is his own teammate. That was hilarious. Either way, it's all evened up. I mean, I feel like it's really telling and very worrying at the same time that the only thing that was hurting Outliers at all this entire round was Top onto Fade. There was almost no damage from the CTs onto the Ts, and I mean, finally they get a kill at the end of things, but this is already a done deal. I mean, they give up 2 guns. That's an op that could also possibly be in the hands of the Outliers if they possibly wanted to go for a double AWP, but it doesn't matter. The money is poor from Polar Ace, to say the least. They're stuck on upgrade pistols, most likely. I'm sorry, I've not been paying attention to the chat, but I love you all. Thank you so much. We smoke through. Boost up on top of Cat. Shanks. They look to take a different approach this time around, Polar Ace, and it comes in the form of Shanks trying to push up aggressively with an MP9. This might actually work out, though. Walker, he's watching for it, though. But who watches the Walkman? Apparently it's no one. Takes him down. Precise on that op as ever. Clean entry onto the A site, and most likely another round given to the Outliers at the moment. It's at this point where Polar Ace can decide, do they want to actually try going for this? They've invested a little bit of money, but they have about 2,400 coming into their hands relatively soon. I mean, with a player going down like that, most likely no, but Marv might have something to say about it. He finds the first one, not the second though. Walker Oh my lord, how does he almost lose that deal? This is kind of a mess, but unfortunately, Rechi doesn't quite come out on top of that one. The Outliers outlast. Give up a couple of guns, but nonetheless net themselves the round. The Outliers only 2 away from closing this out versus the new squad of Polar Ace North. And Polar Ace North, this is already closer than they would have wanted to. Just when you look at the names on this roster, you would have to hope that they come out on top. But the Outliers have been pulling off some superstar performances of their own, excuse me. Rechi strikes first blood almost immediately, taking the shots over towards Long, and a second one comes through from Marft as well. He's hungry for a second though, excuse me, but not the third for the round. That will be Top striking right back. It's a 4 versus 3, so still advantage for Polar Ace at the moment, but so much map control is in Outliers' hands at the moment. They've nearly squeaked their way up towards B at the moment. Bokum Bop, the man who's been a menace in the server, can't quite find anything, nor can Hendy, who's also been a complete nuisance for Polar Ace, and this is looking better and better as time goes on, as they just spray through the smoke and take care of Top immediately. Poor Top has just really been getting the short end of the stick, it feels like. Shot through smoke. And who's to blame? Giving Outliers a bad name. 14-14. At the very least, we're going to be seeing a full 30, but you can't get much closer than this. This has been some intense Counter-Strike action so far. You can't hope for a closer game. Again, think back. This is the same way that the Outliers lost before. It was 14-14. They just unfortunately couldn't quite close out those past couple of rounds. This is quite obviously one of the most important rounds of the game. It looks like this is a technical pause, judging by how long this is taking. So much on the line, it feels like. Sure, this is not, a championship. This is only ESEA regular season. It's not going to, be the end of the career or anything like that. But, Polar Ace under a new banner. The Outliers, with performances like these, you definitely got to be making a name for yourselves for either one of these players. They're going to have a couple more goes at this one. However, whoever wins this one will most likely, or will obviously, I should say, be getting up a map point. Aggressive cat control taken from the Outliers almost immediately, and Rechi, he's ready for it. He finds the first, backs up into CT, and picks up another one. Polar Ace, maybe you've weathered the storm of the Outliers here because they're getting all the kills they need, but not the third. It's a 2-on-4 here. Fade has no luck. It's left to Top. He's been so unlucky this whole game. Maybe he can try turning his luck back around, but it's not meant to be. 15-14, Polar Ace. They're on map point, and they're on match point. They only need one more now, and another pause is going to be called here. Surely this is tactical. I feel like if it was technical, they would have snuffed that out a little while ago. But, my God, this must feel like deja vu for the Outliers. It has to hurt so much to be just so close to tasting that victory. They were so close to a win. But now, at the very least, they can secure overtime. So they're not out of the woods just yet. But nor are Polar Ace. It's not going to be a very pretty by any means from the Outliers. It's going to be a couple of upgrade pistols. We have a MAC-10 and Top Sand and a Scout for Hendy. However, we've seen the damage that the Outliers can do no matter the artillery that they're given. But they're going to need to show off something absolutely marvelous. Rechi, first face in over towards Long at the moment, will have no luck. The flashes are so damn good from the Outliers right now. Unfortunately, it can't quite get them the kills that they need. Rechi will respond with a kill in kind here, and the trades are just so damn good from the CT side at the moment. Moving over towards Elevator will be Rechi at the moment, waiting for a peek. Some sort of push from the T's, surely, but they're not going to be giving him anything. Now they're just looking to get bombed down the T side here. Hendy will do just that. It's Hendy and Walker versus 3 members of Polar Ace. You can't possibly give them the advantage in this scenario. It's a near impossible task. Hendy will retrieve an AK, and Walker, again, this is what I'm talking about, gets so much damage done with a deagle, but he's going to need to pull up massive in the last round. This is his last chance to go ahead and drag his team to overtime. And even then, you're going to have to go through a marathon. Walker spots one, isn't able to get it. It's Polar Ace taking the first game. Outliers again, just barely, we're just hairs away from taking the game. But how can you ever doubt Polar Ace North? It was a close one, but in the end, Polar Ace North are going to come out dominant, and they're going to win their first game under this banner in their debut match. You can't get much closer than that. And my God, that was so much fun to watch. Thank you so much, Hugh. I really appreciate it. That was a ton of fun to watch. God, it's so hard to choose a player of the match. It feels so hard to choose one because I feel like on one hand, I want to give it to Bokum Bop. He dropped 30 kills, but also at the same time, 4-pack. Had so many crazy plays with his AWP. I mean, it feels like there's no definite answer, but I think I am personally going to have to give it to 4-pack at the moment. He had such a crazy game, stepped up massively for his team, and he is going to be getting my pick for player of the match. My name is Ito. It was an absolute honor to bring you this match, but there's still more where that came from. I'm going to call it for the night, but you can see me relatively soon with more matches in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yes, Tessie, I will mod you. Let's see. Sign your profile. I got you, Pinecode. I am going to go ahead, toss it to some music, and call it a night. My voice is weathered, and I'm going to go to the gym on top of this. So, got to stay healthy. And that was one healthy win from Polar Ace North. What one hell of a game. Thank you so much for all the support and text. Thank you for the follow as well. And have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.